Well, good evening, WNBA and LA Sparks fans. Happy burning hot Wednesday night to you folks. It is scorching hot here in Southern California, but we'll take it any time of the day over rain or snow or below zero temperatures. Any case, folks, welcome into the flagship show here on the LA Sparks 365 Network. That would be Sparks 365 with day 4 coverage of WNBA training camp. Good evening, everyone. Cal McClure joining you folks here from Studio 171 San Diego. And that man of the hangout is Chris Woodmansey from the Annenhard Studios up there at the Big A in Anaheim, California. Chris, good evening, man, and how are you hanging in this bizarre April weather here in SoCal?
I'm hanging here just burning hot and just so excited about tomorrow.
Other than it being 1 year at your job site, man, let's talk about the weather real quick, man. The weather is like completely out of SoCal regular here for April going into early May, where normally, Chris, we've got rain either in April or, of course, the traditional May gray, which is nowhere, Chris, in our forecast for a while because we have nothing, Chris, but high pressure and above 90-degree temperatures all week. So how you hanging in there, man?
Just burning hot up here. So I have both fans on, one in the kitchen, in the bedroom, and before I had the air conditioner on, and just burning up in here.
Chris, it was so hot this morning. I had my AC on up until about an hour ago. I've got my fan on in studio here, and I considered going shirtless, but I forgot here, Chris. This is a family network here, and I want to, get the cold shoulder treatment over here from the viewers out there. But Chris, it is too hot, man. Hopefully the weather somehow cools down over here and just gets back to being regular springtime weather here. Okay, Chris, instead of us rambling about the weather here in Southern California, which is not going to be letting up anytime soon, Chris, we have training camp day 4 here in the Bucks today from LA Southwest College. And Chris, today, the Sparks website today, Chris, caught up with new player Arminty Harrington with purple sleeves flowing out of her practice jersey. The Sparks' latest import from Atlanta had a bounce in her gold shoes after making a big play during drills. 3 days into camp, Arminty Harrington already looks the part with a smile on her face and another high energy in practice. She was quoted as saying today, Chris, saying that's what I expected coming from LA, coming from Coach Ross, is just getting after it, having fun, a lot of energy and passion. Just coming every day with 110% close quote. As you may know, folks, Harrington signed with the Sparks on April 1st, 2 days shy of her 29th birthday. Following 2 years with the Chicago Sky, that included a Rookie of the Year award in 07, she was dealt midseason to the Dream in 09, where she spent the last 4+ years. While in Atlanta, the Ole Miss product began playing under another Lady Rebel, head coach Carol Ross. Ross, who was an assistant on head coach Marilyn Metter's staff for 3 years before being named Coach of the Year, coach of the Sparks in 2012, has a familiar background with the 5'9" guard forward that has been resurrected early in camp. Arminty also explained that it's great to play for someone who knows you and knows what he can bring, and I know what to expect. It's no surprises. I know my role, and I know her. We know each other. Close quote. What Ross knows she is getting is one of the league's established defensive stoppers. Harrington was named to the WNBA All Defensive First Team last season, following same team selections the past 2 seasons. She also had her 2 best scoring seasons in 11 and 12, where she averaged 8.4 and 8.5 points per game respectively. Her point guard during those years was her new Sparks teammate, Lindsey Harding. Lindsey Harding, in a quote today, she was quoted as saying that, yeah, I'd like to take credit for all that. She made it very, very easy. She hopefully, and for sure I know, she's going to bring that here, and I'll put a lot of pressure on a lot of defenses, close quote. Last season, Harrington put a lot of pressure on the Sparks defense, scoring a season-high 18 points in her lone appearance against her new teammates, which was a 77-73 Sparks win at Staples Center last season. If her play that night was not enough of an indication to Sparks fans of what she will be bringing to the court this season, Harrington laid out her mission on Tuesday afternoon. Quoted as saying, they're going to get my best every time I step out on the floor. I'm just going to do the best I can to help them make that next step and try to get that championship and just try to do everything I can in my power. I can only control what I control. but they're going to get my best, close quote. Well, Chris, again, Arminty Harrington coming over, Chris, this past offseason to the Sparks. Again, she was one of the marquee big fish in the free agent market pond out there, man. And again, you're bringing in, Chris, a all-defensive team player into the season, man. What did the Sparks get when they signed Arminty Fresh Harrington this past offseason?
A great addition to the Sparks to come off the bench and play a great role in the Sparks.
Now, Chris, we heard in that article here about Lindsey Harding and Arminty Harrington, Chris. They were both teammates with the Dream during Carol Ross's tenure there with the Dream as an assistant coach, Chris. Now, Chris, the way you see it here now is it's sort of mapped out this way. Is you have Lindsey and Arminty who played together in Atlanta. And now, Chris, you got Candace Parker and Sandrine Gruda who played together over in Ekaterinburg, Chris. So, Chris, you know if there's chemistry between those four players. Then now, Chris, is will the chemistry with the whole team sort of gel as a unit now is the only question.
Yep.
So again, folks, day 3 wrapping up yesterday with the interview with Arminty Harrington. Again, folks, signing this past offseason on April 1st, just 2 days shy of her 29th birthday, and again named to the All-WNBA first team. Okay, so Chris is going to take care of something real quick, folks. If you recall about what happened a few nights ago on Sparks Fam, how he was getting harassed by security, folks, he's got to go take care of something real quick. So we'll give Chris the mute button for right now. So, Chris, take care of your civil duty, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes. So, Chris, we'll hop out here for a few minutes, folks. By the way, again, folks, wanting to remind you again, folks. But again, the Sparks open up their 2014 WNBA regular season schedule on May 16th at 7 o'clock in Seattle, and open up on May 18th versus Phoenix at 6 p.m. We are still awaiting, folks, the television schedule to be announced at this point in time. And again, folks, also keep entering to win, folks. And you can, if you go on to LASparks.com, you have a chance, folks, again, of winning the all-inclusive press pass to Sparks Media Day coming up in the coming weeks at LA Southwest College. So enter today at LASparks.com. And don't forget, folks, the Sparks have their only home preseason game next Saturday, May 10th at 2 p.m. at LA Southwest College versus the Chinese National Women's Olympic Basketball Team. Again, May 10th at 2 p.m. game time at the Lakin Center on the campus of Los Angeles Southwest College. Folks, again, we will wait here on Chris to hop back in here. But again, folks, coming up at 9:30 will be Sparks Fam, our interactive, free-flowing open forum, and then we'll have the guys with the petition coming up at 10 o'clock tonight before we get out of here for the night. Again, folks, a reminder here, but again, folks, going to try to work in our 2 other co-hosts again, Shorty Mamba 24, who you saw come in on Monday night here in the Hangout. She'll join us either on Friday or Thursday, and we're also, folks, trying to work on getting Lex Williams in as well, our resident Sparks fan and Sparks analyst on the East Coast at least. She'll join us as well at a later time and date. Again, folks, we'll have Sparks 365 tonight from 9 to 9:30. Then we'll have Sparks Fam, and then the guys with the petition again at 10 o'clock tonight. So again, be sure you guys also, by the way, follow us on Twitter, folks. Our new Twitter handle for the network, again, is at LASparks365. That is at LASparks365. And be sure you guys recommend your Sparks fans to follow us back on Twitter. And we will, as always, folks, keep you guys updated with the latest team breaking news. And of course, we'll also let you know about when we're going live with shows and stuff like that again. So follow us on Twitter, folks. That is at LASparks365. Again, that is at LASparks365 on Twitter, the official Twitter handle, folks, of the Sparks Network here. Your 24/7, 365 comprehensive home of the WNBA and your LA Sparks. Folks, some sparkling overseas news real quick, and we will rehash this when Chris gets back in our hangout here. But international play has wrapped up in Russia this morning, just in time for the WNBA preseason, with WNBA stars Sue Bird of Seattle, Sandrine Gruda, and Candace Parker of the Sparks, and Diana Taurasi of Phoenix, who, along with their UMMC Ekaterinburg teammates, defeated Orenburg, another Russian team with WNBA players Tamika Johnson of Seattle, Gloria Johnson of Tulsa, and Dewana Bonner of Phoenix. Ekaterinburg swept Orenburg in the best-of-5 series to win the prestigious cup, which, as Sue Bird noted, is rather large. We'll show you guys the IG photo from Sue Bird later on in the block here. Sparks players Sandrine Gruda and Candace Parker led the way for Ekaterinburg with 24 points each, 19 rebounds and 16 points, 11 rebounds with actually, you correct that, folks. Sandrine Gruda, 24 points, 9 rebounds, and CP3, 16 points, 11 rebounds, both respectfully. Also happening, folks, overseas. Also recently in an all Turkish EuroLeague final, Sancho Little of Atlanta and Kelsey Bone of Connecticut and Galatasaray took down Angel McCoughtry of Atlanta and Cappy Pondexter of New York, and they took down Fenerbahce. Galatasaray beat Fenerbahce 69-58 to clinch the title. Sancho Little was also named the FIBA Europe Women's Player of the Year. And over in the Polish League, folks, Ali Quigley of Chicago and Jantel Lavender of the Sparks both put up double-digit performances in their final game to stave off Triple C Polka Weiss for their Wisla Canpack team in their final. So, folks, a lot of players in the WNBA are coming back home to the U.S. with plenty of hardware in their back pockets and on their chartered airlines back home to either L.A. or Seattle or Phoenix in time for the season. So, again, congratulations to Candace and Sandrine, Sue, and Diana, all bringing home the prestigious cup from Russia. And also congratulations go out as well to other players in the league, including Sancho Little and Kelsey Bone from Galatasaray, and also Ali Quigley and Jantel Lavender, all bringing home hardware back to the States from their tremendous and well-performed overseas commitments. Other than that, folks, not a whole lot of news here tonight in the WNBA. It's been a very quiet last couple days, just getting ready to rolling out here and getting ready to roll with, of course, with what's occurring, as we all know, again, with training camp up and running here, with every team up and running. Just waiting again, folks, on those few players to come back home from their overseas commitments and stuff like that. So, again, training camp not quite at full speed, folks, but getting there slowly but surely. So we will see what occurs out of that. And, again, folks, a reminder once more here, but, again, the Sparks' lone home preseason game, Saturday, May 10th, 2 p.m. at LA Southwest College versus the Chinese National Women's Olympic Basketball Team at the Lincoln Center. Tickets are on sale now and can be purchased at lasparks.com. or by calling 877-44-SPARKS or online at lasparks.com. Again, folks, we are still awaiting the Sparks television schedule to get up and running here, folks. Again, we've been saying that for the last few shows, but again, they're right now, again, folks, trying to work out the dates with Time Warner Cable Sportsnet to be able to get the games on television. If you folks kind of forgot what but Sportsnet also is carrying the LA Galaxy of Major League Soccer, so they're trying to work around the same dates as the Galaxy so they can have those games booked on television. We're going to get to a discussion with Chris about television in just a moment here, as we've seen a few teams that have come out with their schedules, but they are not really getting a whole lot of games on their network. So we'll talk about that with Chris when he gets back in just a few minutes. Again, folks, to purchase tickets, to purchase any Sparks tickets, folks, again, you can purchase your tickets purchase your seats for the Sparks games. Again, by calling the number, folks, call 877-44-SPARKS, 877-44-SPARKS, or online at lasparks.com, or go through Access, which is AXS.com, the official ticketing provider of the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. So again, folks, we are kind of hanging out here for a few minutes here. Again, we kind of apologize if we're kind of rambling here, but we're just waiting on Chris Momancy to hop back in here, folks. And again, he just was taking care of a few things at his studio here, so we wouldn't be interrupted again by what you may have saw on the network a few days ago, folks. How Chris was getting interrupted pretty badly by the security at his studios, folks. So again, we're just waiting on him to hop back in here as well. By the way, folks, I don't know if you guys have caught the video yet, but there was a video posted on the WNBA website. You guys can go check out. We'll link it to you guys. But guys, I would totally recommend go check out Mystics forward Stephanie Dolson. I mean, she is by far the funniest player in the league right now. She checked one celebrity off her celebrity dance-off list when she appeared on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. You guys can go check out the video on WNBA.com. I'll tell you what, folks. You know, there's no one I think has the personality of Stephanie Dolson, who's just very outgoing, very funny. I mean, a hard-nosed player on the court, but hey, she's very chill, very laid back. That's good to see. All right, folks. Chris has hopped back in here again, took care of a few things. Chris, we had just talked about here. Again, I'm pretty sure you saw Chris, but again, tell you what, I don't know what to call him. I guess the big three, Chris, of the WNBA, which would be Sue Bird, Candace Parker, and Diana Taurasi, plus Sandrine Gutekunst, as you may know. UMC Canterbury Chris just took down Orenburg in the best-of-5 series to win the prestigious Russian League Cup, Chris. Chris, I'm going to share with you guys a quick photo real quick, Chris, that Sue Bird posted this morning on Instagram from her account, Chris. And a lot of people were doubting about the size of the championship for the Russian Cup, Chris. You might want to check this out, man. This is a pretty legit championship trophy, so we're going to do a little screen share for you guys here on the network. I mean, that trophy is like no laughing matter, man.
Yep.
So again, Chris, you were just talking about that again. Everyone is coming home. Chris wasn't here, but again, folks, Sue Bird, Sandrine Gruda, Candace Parker, and Diana Taurasi are coming home with hardware as they defeated Tamika Johnson, Gloria Johnson, and Dewana Bonner of Orenburg. And also, Chris, coming home with hardware tonight as well is Sancho Little of Atlanta and Kelsey Bone of Connecticut as Galstrade beat Angel McCautry and Cappy Pondexter over in Europe as well to clinch the championship. And also, Chris, Allie Quigley and Jantel Levin, Chris, are also coming home with hardware as well sometime soon. So, Chris, Russian League plays over with Chris in time for the preseasons. Now, Chris, all these players that won overseas are coming home with a piece of hardware, man.
Yep, just so great that they're all coming home with some hardware.
All right, so we'll move on from here. Chris, I wanted to get to this real quick because, Chris, we know about the Sparks. Again, the TV schedule, the television schedule, Chris, not out yet. We're still waiting on that, Chris. And I was just getting to this point, Chris, is the Sparks are trying to, I think right now, Chris, try to lock down dates for Sportsnet because remember, Chris, the Sparks share the network too with the Lakers and the Galaxy, so they're trying to work around the schedule, Chris. But Chris, the thing that I've noticed in the past is the Sparks are the main network in the WNBA that really, Chris, has the network show basically almost all the games. Because, Chris, I just saw the Mercury's TV schedule, Chris. Fox Sports Arizona is only showing 8 games, the entire 34-game schedule, Chris. Chris, what do you make about teams that have TV contracts, man, but they only get like maybe a handful of games on their networks?
So stupid.
I don't get it. I mean, believe it or not, Chris, there's fan bases that support these teams, so why only give them a handful of games on your local television networks?
Yep, agree.
I mean, Chris, we know about what's going on with the Dodgers, okay, how Sportsnet LA, Chris, is not even viewed in pretty much 3/4 of Los Angeles County, Chris. Now, in this case here, the Sparks, again, are going to lock down their dates, Chris. But why only give the WNBA teams, Chris, when they're paying out the money to show the games on television, only give them so many amount of games, man?
Yeah, I know. I'm weird.
I mean, Chris, I don't think a lot of people like us who are going to be paying $15 to buy WNBA live access to watch games on our computers, I think. I know I'm not doing it, and I know you won't do it, but it's crazy, though, that people that are WNBA fans like us two, if we lived in Phoenix or Atlanta, Chris, where they're having or where they only have 3, 5, or 8 games on the TV schedule, man, that either the team and or the network, Chris, can do that to the fans.
Yep, I know.
I don't know what to say, man, but I mean, Chris, having the games on ESPN2, in my view, it doesn't do anything for me, Chris, because you're not with your own hometown TV voices. You're stuck with ESPN people, Chris, who have bias towards either UConn players or, Duke players or Tennessee players, Chris. I mean, it's not the same feel, I think, Chris, when you watch any sport of your favorite team on ESPN or Fox Sports, in my view.
Yep.
I mean, I don't get it, Chris, and hopefully that they work out something here where they post the TV schedule sometime soon. But we'll see what occurs. But again, folks, we'll just rehash one more time here. But again, Sparks only preseason home game, May 10th at 2 p.m. LA Southwest College versus the Chinese Olympic basketball team. Tickets are on sale at lasparks.com or by calling 877-44-SPARKS. Let's see what we got here. Chris, we have a question in from a viewer who is asking here, how many wins do you think the Sparks will have this season? Chris, I'm not a big fan of preseason predictions up until maybe, I might make mine perhaps May 15th. If I'm not busy on May 15th, I'm going to make my predictions, Chris. It's tough. I mean, because you don't know, Chris, what teams that got better this past offseason, like Connecticut, like Tulsa, San Antonio, and New York. I mean, it's tough to judge, Chris. They're going to be a 24 to 28 win team in my view, I think, because they're just that loaded now that they being the Sparks, Chris. They're going to be a 24 win team, and they're going to be in the postseason regardless. I don't. Why bother asking the question if you know that they're going to basically, Chris, be in the postseason? They're basically every year with this team right now.
Yep, agreed. I probably have them winning maybe at least 28, maybe.
Yeah, Chris, 28's a lot. I mean, the Sparks have won, that many in the past. I think the magic number, Chris, would have to be between 27, at least 26, 28 maybe at most, because I believe, Chris, I believe in their championship years they won 26 and 28, I want to say, maybe 30. But in that range, though, Chris, but, I mean, you got to factor in Minnesota in Minneapolis will be a loss. Phoenix and Phoenix maybe a loss. Seattle and Seattle could be a loss, Chris. I mean, the Stars, the Shock. East Coast-wise, Chris, I mean, they basically have beat up on everyone on the East Coast, maybe minus Atlanta. So, Chris, you got to factor in, though, all the games in Minneapolis, Minnesota will be a loss more than likely because they just did not play well at the Target Center last year. Phoenix was kind of hit and miss, minus game 2 in the postseason. Seattle, they got blown up by 21 time up there. So it's tough to judge, Chris. And plus, I'm not going to count on anyone that got better through the draft, like the Sun, especially them, Chris, or either Tulsa, the Stars, or even New York, in my view.
Yeah.
What are you projecting right now?
Like when you said, probably between the 26, 28 range.
I mean, in my view, Chris, 24 just doesn't cut it for me because it seems like they've gone 24-10 the past 2 seasons, and they fizzled out in the postseason. So if they can at least win 25, maybe 26, I mean, I'm going to set the bar, Chris, at least 24. Anything over that is a bonus. So right now, Chris, I'm going to say 24 wins at least for LA this year.
Yep.
So again, thanks for the viewer for asking the question. And again, folks, how the viewer did that, the black box right here where my finger's at. Click on that and head over to our live Q&A lobby. Chris, any thoughts you want to kind of discuss here? Anything involving the league at all or the Sparks? I mean, what do you want to get to here?
Just nothing much. Just can't wait for the season already.
I mean, hey, tomorrow's May 1st, so I mean we're going to be 17 days away, or at least, well, 17 days until the big day, people, if you know what I'm getting at here. But tomorrow will be 15 days away, Chris, from the actual start of the season. And by the way, folks, the schedule for opening night, which is on May 16th, across a few parts of the league, in case you folks are wondering out there, on May 16th. Games as follows here. The links will be at Washington, New York at Connecticut, San Antonio at Atlanta, Indiana at Chicago, and the Sparks at Seattle on Friday. Then on Saturday night, May 17th, on day 2 of the opening weekend, Dream at Fever, Sky at Liberty, Shock at Stars, and Seattle at Phoenix. And then on Sunday, Connecticut at Minnesota, and of course the Mercury at the Sparks as the Sparks open up their home schedule for the 2014 season schedule. So Chris, 3 days, a lot of great games out there, man. Other than LA, who are you watching over the weekend?
Wait, who?
Other than the Sparks, which game are you gonna be watching? Or is there any specific team you're gonna be watching closely?
Phoenix, since it's the home opener. Phoenix Mercury, and since we lost last round in the playoffs against Mercury, so Phoenix Mercury.
Chris, I'm kind of disappointed in you. How come you did not say the Connecticut Center or the Minnesota Lynx? I mean, you're like this big fan now, Shania Gumake, because of one little reply back on Twitter, and you've all of a sudden bombed out on her. Chris, you got to watch Minnesota. This is the team, Chris, that you have to beat in the Western Conference, and no one's done that in the past 3 seasons. Phoenix couldn't even do it, Chris, nor could LA, nor could Seattle or the Stars, or even, Chris, the Tulsa Shock last season. I don't see why we're not watching the Lynx, Chris. I'm going to be watching Minnesota closely because that team, Chris, in my view, has too many weapons, and they're pretty much, Chris, unstoppable, and they are, Chris, the cream of the crop and the top dog right now to watch in the Western Conference, Chris, because right now they are right now, Chris, the heavy favorites again to win the. No one's dethroned them yet. So right now, Chris, I would not bet against Minnesota, at least into the conference finals, but losing to LA. But I'm watching Connecticut, Chris, see how well this new Sun team is. Wishing McCain, plenty more draftees and players, Chris. And, of course, you got to watch the defending champion Lynx, Chris.
Yep.
But, of course, Chris, I'm keeping the Mercury underneath my microscope, too, because I'm going to see them. I'm seeing them in person on May 8th as well. Other than that, not much else to get to here, folks. Coming up in about 5 minutes, perhaps, is the greatest show on the Sparks Network here, folks. That would be our interactive open forum that we call Sparks Fans. So get folks sending those tweets, your IG photos, emails, and much, much more. Again, coming up here in about 5 minutes here on the Sparks Network. Chris, let's go back to a discussion we had on Monday night with Shorty Mama 24 again about this upcoming preseason game with the Sparks taking on the Chinese women's national team, Chris. Again, we kind of talk about this, man, and again, I'm all for it because it's something different, at least, than what we are used to, at least, in other sports where it's, you know, regular team versus team here, Chris. But, I mean, what do you make about this move by the Sparks here to have their only preseason game at home, Chris, be against the Olympic national team?
Just great, because they could see some overseas, some international team. They could scout the teams, scout their players if they want to do that, and they could maybe sign someone like they did before.
Chris, I'm not really too sure of the involvement of either the Asian players in the league. I know there's not a whole lot. I know there was a few back in the 90s. The Sparks had one named Kaisha Zhang, again, who was about 6'8" and maybe 275, I think, but she was a low that the Sparks had back in the late 90s, Chris. So, I mean, you kind of figure, though, man, that it's not really there's not a whole lot of the Asian players involved in the WNBA like there is, with Jeremy Lin and Yao Ming and players like that over in the NBA, Chris. But, I mean, you see a few different players, Chris, players from Australia, players from, Russia or France in the WNBA, Chris. So, I mean, there's a small little diverse countries out there, Chris. But again, in my view, again, this is about scouting talent, Chris, international goodwill, and a lot of other things included, I think, with this game.
Yep.
Okay, Chris, to continue our tour of the WNBA around, just to continue our tour here of training camps, Chris, we're going to go to our next team, Chris, to talk about, which is the Tulsa Shock, who had a miserable season last year, Chris, with Gary Kloppenberg, now Sparks assistant coach now last season, Chris. Highlighted a lot, Chris, by injuries, overtime games they lost, big leads blown in the fourth quarter, man. But above all, man, it was injury health and players, Chris, just sort of like, revolting against the franchise. We've heard a lot of rumors, Chris, of Liz Cambage, Chris, their 6'8" center, of her not wanting to play with the Shock, Chris, because of the FIBA games, but also, Chris, because of where they play, which I kind of understand, Chris, which is, Tulsa, Oklahoma's like in the middle of nowhere, man. But what did you make about their season last year, though, Chris? A lot of injuries, a lot of, Skylar Diggins, and then Ice Baby, who's now with the Sparks, man. I mean, a very bad season for Tulsa, Chris, and it's been pretty much downhill since they left Detroit a few years ago, man. So what did you make about their season last year?
Just a terrible season by the Tulsa Shock. Pretty much their season looks like our other purple and gold, the Lakers, battling with injuries and a terrible season and everything, just like when they blew a lead against our Sparks and a lot of stuff.
Chris, the future, I think, for them remains bright, depending if they don't deal Skylar Diggins, which we've heard rumors of already, and they would be very stupid to do that. That'd be like the Sparks trading Candace Parker to frickin' Phoenix for a bench player or something like that. But, Chris, I think the draft, though, this will be Odyssey Sims' team, I think, following her rookie season. It's going to be, Chris, Diggins trying to groom a younger player in Sims. And they got what they needed, Chris, but again, it's just, again, Chris, their season relies heavily on their health. If they are not healthy, Chris, put them back in the 6th spot and back in the lottery for the 2015 season.
Yep, agreed.
So, folks, tomorrow night when we get back on here at 9 o'clock again, we will preview again the third worst team last year, which was the New York Liberty, Chris. We're going to be talking about Bill Laimbeer and their past season with their injuries and things included. But until then, let's see what happens here. Yeah, the air raid siren, Chris, means we're out of time here for the net for 365. So, folks, we'll take our first time out when we come back. Tweets, Instagram photos, emails, and live Q&A. Bunch of laughs, bunch of nonsense. That equals Sparks fan votes, and that's coming up next right here. 24/7, 365, comprehensive home of the WNBA and the Sparks, the LA Sparks 365 Network. Don't go anywhere.